Hello, welcome to the Colourful Creativity podcast. My name is Caroline and this is episode 145. You can find me everywhere as Kralaling, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Ravelry, the works, you know it. And I have a webshop, colourfulcreativity.nl or colourfulcreativity.com. I am in a different place today, as you can see. It's probably pretty obvious, because we are on vacation. And I brought everything to record an episode because I knew we would get some rainy days and I was like, oh, might be fun to just record an episode here for you so you have a bit of a view what we're having and where we're staying. We're staying pretty local. It's only a 45-minute drive from our home and basically a 30-minute drive from the hospital. Just in case. I am still not trusting Murphy, etc. So yeah, we are in Hellendoorn in Hof van Salland. We stayed here in May last year as well. And it was a weekend then, and now we are here for 5 days, Monday to Friday. We're having a blast. We've biked about 70 plus kilometers in 2 days now. It is Wednesday today, so yesterday and today we had a bike, an e-bike rental, and tomorrow it says it will rain and Friday it will rain, so those 2 days we will take the car. No biking. I can tell you my butt appreciates that thought. Yeah, not being on your own bike, it is a bit difficult. I'm not sure if you can see it, but we're having a lot of bird traffic. I put some peanuts outside, the ones that are still in their peel, hoping we would get some squirrels. We saw quite some today, and yeah, there's a bit of background activity at the moment. But that is actually not why we're here, of course. This is not a bird watching wildlife show. This is a knitting podcast and all creative other stuff. But today we are just knitting, and we are only sock knitting. I have brought my finished objects to show you. I have here the finished pair of Valgus socks by Jennifer Ruschinski, J Rush Knits on Instagram, I think. All the links are in the show notes. I didn't bring the patterns, etc. with me because that would be too much. I already bring basically my kitchen, including the sink and everything, seeing that I have to cook and stuff. These were so much fun. I was knitting size large, the 70 stitches version, because I tried on the 64 and that didn't really fit, but the 70 fits like a charm. For my big feet, I made size 43 and it works perfectly. You knit them flat, so you cannot try them on really while knitting, and then you seam them together. You knit the toe first, you knit an afterthought heel, and then you go seaming the whole thing. Here it goes diagonal on the foot, the seam goes straight, and they were so much fun. I finished them in 8 days, I think. And this was round 1 in Sock Madness. Round 2 is currently underway, but I'm not knitting it. It is a heavily cabled sock and it's called Celtic Rain, which is definitely up my alley. I am for everything Irish. I'm there. But I was like, I'm going on vacation. I do not need that stress. Let me focus on other stuff like whips. So that's what I did. I will show you in a sec. First, the yarn. This is Undercover Otter Squirm, which is a 80% merino and 20% high twist sock yarn. 20% nylon, of course. in the colorway your certifiable Quint, which was a Clan of Igor's yarn back in 2020. And the contrast color is my own soft sock, which is the same base as the Squirm. And it is a one-of-a-kind colorway that I dyed up, and I knit my bike rides in summer socks with that, my design. So yeah, leftovers being used, I'm all for it. Yeah, I had so much fun with this knit. There are people who were nagging about it, and seriously, I do not understand what they mean, because this was a really fun knit. And if it didn't fit you, I mean, if you always knit a 64 stitch sock and you're knitting something with cables, cables go in. So you have to knit a bigger size. That is given. I really don't understand why people are nagging. They should have just followed instructions, which I did. And I now have a pair that fits perfectly. Then I was looking at my whips, like I said, and I had quite a few pairs that only needed the second sock, or even less than a second sock, like halfway, or most of them had the cuff done already. So yeah, here, throwing them on the ground already. I do not have sock blockers with me, so you have to believe me that it is a really, really pretty pattern. Let me see if I can get it into focus with good light. Not really. Yes, there it is, just closer. These are the Thigmotropism socks by Nicole Simmons, and this was a test knit back in August of 2021. I only had to do one sock. I finished it perfectly in time for the deadline, and then I cast on the cuff and put it away. I had other things to do back then. I'm pretty sure another test knit, because I was doing back-to-back test knits by then. But I finally have a pair of socks with these. The pattern is by Nicole Simmons. She has amazing patterns. Please check her out. She has a lot of beautiful cable patterns, and since I was cabling on the Valgus socks, I was just totally in the mood for difficult, charted, and yeah, the stuff that I didn't have the brains for all last year, and I'm really, really, really happy that it works again. And this is definitely my jam. So yes, here we have it. A beautiful sock, and it has a very interesting gusset. It is a gusset under the foot instead of in its usual place. I remember from the test knit, I think, that people just were mindlessly knitting the heel, putting the gusset in its normal place, and we're like, oh, oops, I didn't read that. Yeah, that's not how test knitting works. The yarn I used is another experimental yarn. The base is an experiment and is a sock base that I'm not gonna carry because I think it feels too thin. I knit these on 2.25 millimeter needles. My usual go-to, which I use for these, is a 2.5 mil. And yeah, these are on 2.25 millimeter needles. It looks gorgeous and really crisp, etc. But it just feels a bit thin, and I'm not sure how long they will wear. The colorway is also experimental and is now also a colorway I have in stock. It is, damn, I thought I had it in my head. It's one of the new pastel colors, like one of the Easter egg pastels. Nope. There it is. It's called Lazy Lilacs. So that is in the shop. Pair number 2. And remember, I also finished the balloon socks this month. So that is pair number 3 finished this month. And yeah, here we have Robert's socks, his stripy socks with Fab Funky Fibres yarn, and these are also finished now. So after that cable-y stuff, I was like, yeah, but which sock do I pick up now? I went with this one because basically I had to do this little bit and the cuff on the second sock. I was like, that's easy. Just mindlessly knit that thing and be done with it and have another whip less. So yeah, here we are. A pair of beautiful socks. I knit these two on 2.25 millimeter because Robert likes his socks really tight knit. Me too. I like that too. And this is a thinner yarn. This is a light fingering. So you do want that on a tighter gauge. And you have to go down a needle size, which is fine. Absolutely fine. I knit these toe up, and the yarn is divided already in 50 grams. And even though they were not exactly in the same place at some places, I have managed to make identical twins, basically. Here and there they are like half a round off, which is fine. It's not too much, I think. So yeah, that is pair number 4 this month. Then I've also finished these. These were number 11 of my 12 cast-ons of 2022 and are now done. These are not identical. As you can see at the cuffs, they start at a different point. It's not far off. It's maybe half a color, 1.5 color off. But yeah, I don't mind because I do not like to match, because you never know when you will find a knot in a yarn and then you will be all off, which annoys me more than just starting where I ended and being totally off. These are DK socks. The yarn I used is Meilenweit by Lana Grossa. Let me look up the details because I do not want to lie to you. It is, yeah, Lana Grossa Meilenweit 6-fach Spezial. And I used the DK weight vanilla socks pattern by the Crazy Sock Lady. And this is 56 stitches for me on a 3mm needle, I think. Yeah, 3mm needle. And it fits like a charm. So I even have about 50 grams left, so I could have done the cuff a little bit longer. The yarn was a 150 gram ball. So yeah, I could have done a little bit more, but yeah, it's fine. It's definitely long enough. So that is finished object and pair of socks number 5 for this month. And I'm actually trying for number 6. So in here I took with me in my beautiful knitted fabric bag by Francesca, I have my stone knits pattern, the herding cat socks. Where am I? Oh, there. Here they are, herding cats socks, and I'm really enjoying it. So that was the next whip on my list that I wanted to finish. And here it is, number 1. I've actually finished it already, heel and all. So yeah, the colorway of the main color is Bright Eyes. It is my own hand-dyed on Colourful Smooth Sock. And the minis are also Colourful Smooth Sock, and they are also in the shop. They are the Colourful Cats kitten set. And we have Solomon, the white one of James Bond. Then this is Miss Laia. Here is De Rode Kater. This is Binks. This one is Miesje. It is like black with teeny tiny flecks of white. This side is better visible. And then this one is Mickey and Noortje, my grandparents' cats. And here is Salem, fully black cat. And I am actually thinking, because I haven't used Kit, which is the Siamese cat in Charmed. I'm thinking of the second sock, skipping Salem and adding this one instead. I needed a few more rounds, but not a whole cat. So I was like, yeah, what I'm gonna do. So I just did some regular rounds of plain stockinette in the main color. I'm really enjoying it. I'm already at the third cat in sock number 2. Just started the ears basically. This is 2 evenings. It's not, we're not doing a lot of knitting here because we're just exhausted at night. Yesterday we biked for 33 kilometers, then we swam because there's an outdoor pool, and I was like, I want to swim, and Robert was like, yeah, I want to swim too. Then I had a bath and Robert went into the sauna. We have a sauna in our little house here, our little cottage. And today we biked for, first we biked like 22 kilometers and the second one was about 18 kilometers. So yeah, another 40 kilometers. We were kind of pooped after those long physical days, which is absolutely fine. That's why we're here. To rest, relax, and do stuff we love. I am knitting these on 2.5mm needles when I do the collar work, and on 2.25mm for the cuff, heel, and the toe, because that's just the main color. And again, a smooth sock is a finer base, a light fingering. It is the same base as the Fab Funky Fibres sock yarn. So there's only so many suppliers and you can feel it. So yeah, I am switching needles whenever I have to, and that's just fine. My collar work is always a bit tight, so on a 2.5mm needle it's still fine. Yeah, enjoying it. And I really hope to be able to do the heel tonight, actually. I'm recording now at 6:15, so it's still light out, and that's the only thing I really like about daylight savings, because the rest of it I just hate. I do not have any other whips. I took other projects with me, but I do not have any other whips. I have just focused on my socks and on the things I thought I could get finished. And I'm really hoping I can finish these before the 1st of April. So fingers crossed I get some extra knitting time. It's gonna rain, so I'm pretty sure I will. And after that I can just dive into my other 2 whips I brought. I brought the squares to make a border on my blanket squares. And I have to actually rip back the first one because I made a mistake on my first blanket square border. It sucks, but hey ho, it happens. And I brought Robert's sweaters where I can just do mindless stockinette, but in a darker yarn, dark gray, so I'm not sure yet. And I also bought yarn because I was going to some yarn stores, and here is the yarn I brought. I want to knit the shamrocking socks. I do not remember the designer, but I will pop a link down below. And I need about 7 colors of green for that. So yeah, 7 colors green. I only have 4 from my stash and I had to go shopping. So we went to a yarn store yesterday and that was a bust. I'm looking up the yarn store name of today. I think, yeah, that was the name. Yesterday we went to Raalte and there was Crea Shop Duimelot, which is basically a full-on craft store and not just yarn. And on the website it said they had Jawol, so the Lang yarns Jawol like these in pretty colors that would fit, I think. When I came there, I asked the lady if she had that. When she asked me, can I help you? I said, yes, maybe, I hope so. I need green yarns to go with these, and I was hoping you have your wool. And she was like, yeah, I'm waiting for the shipment. I'm really sorry, I do not have green. I was in and out in 5 minutes and I didn't buy anything in a yarn store, which is very unusual for me because usually when I am chatting with someone there and you know, you get the, oh yeah, it's a yarn and you know what I mean probably. And you're just like, oh, but I want to buy something because I want to support the store. And this one was like slammed shut, gone. I was like, oh. I also saw there wasn't a lot of sock yarn. Most of it was acrylic and cotton. I know there's a place for both, but I don't need them. So yeah, that was really quick. Robert was like, are we going already? He just sat down. He's really supportive and nice. He just sits down in a chair and waits for me. So yeah, that was a bust. So today we went to another yarn store, to the Wol Boutique in Den Ham. And that was super nice. The lady was awesome. And she said, yeah, I did have Lang yarns, but I'm phasing it out. I stopped stocking it and I only have a few colors left and there's no green. When I was looking at the basket, I was like, yeah, I'm not even taking any of that because there was a lot of, yeah, gunk in it. Like bits of flour and not the stuff you find in yarn regularly, but yeah. I was just like, yeah, this is definitely the sales bin and it has probably been outside for a while and no, just no. But she did have some nice yarns and she was really nice and she had some woolly yarns and we had a nice chat and everything, and I found this. I thought, well, a Meilenweit Christmas with sparkle is definitely something I can buy. I really enjoy buying Christmas yarns so I can make more Christmas socks, and yeah. I saw this one and it's not often that I see the yarn in person first, and it had sparkle, so I just took it. I mean, leaving the yarn store with just one ball of sock yarn. Yeah. And then for this afternoon, we went to another place, which was Marijn Creatief in Hellendoorn. Basically, the place we're staying at is Hellendoorn, but is really outside of the city, the town, the village. It's really small. She did have some greens on the website, and also her stock of Lang yarns and wool was really low. So I was like, oh, drat. She didn't have the right color for me. It was basically this one, but really dull. And that didn't fit in with this. But then she had some other sock yarns. And I thought these three looked really cute together. And this is United Socks. Socks lovers I would say sock lovers unite, but hey ho. By Katia, and this is a bog standard sock yarn, 75% wool, 25% polyamide, but these are cute little 25-gram balls, and I just couldn't resist. I mean, they cost €2 each. So I got this green gradient, which definitely fits in with this, which gives me 7 balls of yarn. I think I might, let me see how I can shuffle things around. Let me take that one out. I might go with this order, like start with the dark mossy green one. Go to the light one, then go to the lime green, neon green, and then the other greens. I'm still not sure if this one's really going in it. It's a really sea greeny, it's not teal, it's definitely not petrol. It is green, but just a different shade of green. So yeah, I'm not sure yet how I will combine it. If I will combine it, I mean, I dyed up a whole set of green to test out all the green I have for the dyes. And I got a really nice set of greens at home, hand dyed. So I might just do that. And then go to my local store, the local haberdashery, that does have the full range of lang yarns. Jawel. I mean, but I didn't leave the second store empty-handed. So just these tiny bits of green, and they are this dark red and this beautiful petrol tealy color. I really love that. That's really my color. I think these were handy for everything, especially in Sock Madness. And I also have a set of colorwork socks in mind that I want to knit that are themed with the seasons. I do not know the name, I do not know the designer, but if I find them, I will pop them in a link in the show notes. So yeah, these will come in handy for that, definitely. And I might just make a list for those as well when I go shopping at my local haberdashery. Now that I know they have lang yarns, jawel, I can just buy whenever I need some. I don't really have to stock it myself at home. So yeah, that's for more yarn buying. I was really decent. I mean, you go on vacation, you have carte blanche to buy, and what do you get? Like 225 grams of sock yarn. I think I was a good one. Very good girl. Very, very good girl. I may have just gotten a message about some Cartref yarn that I wanted to buy, and that is now back in stock and available for me to get. So yay for that. So yeah. Don't tell anyone. I will show you when it has arrived. Yeah, it's awfully quiet outside. I am going to make us a coffee now, and then we're gonna go and sit and watch a movie on Netflix because we have a fire going. It is a gas fire. It's not gas, natural gas fire. Something, it's like in glass and the wood is not real, and yeah, there are flames coming out of it. It's really nice. It's really pretty, especially if you do not have those things at home. At the moment, the house looks like it has exploded because, yeah, we live here and I bring a lot of stuff. So I'm not going to do a tour of the house at the moment. We will do that when we leave and we have packed up our stuff and put it in the car again. So, but you can enjoy that later on. And yeah, if we get a dry moment, I might make a walk with Robert outside and take you with me. So I hope you enjoyed this little video not at home, and I hope to see you again soon. I also hope you have a wonderful time crafting, and yeah, bye bye.